Today is a nuanced session, strong in some areas, weak in others. Here is the full picture. Welcome to MTRS_Market Pulse. Here is your complete global indices roundup for August 14th. Markets are sending mixed signals today as investors weigh competing narratives. Let us go region by region across the major global indices. Starting with the Americas session. S&P 500 is trading higher by plus 0.65% at $7,798.99. Equity markets are responding to reports that S&P 500 notches record high close as rate hike worries ease. NASDAQ 100 edged higher plus 1.15% to $30,085. Equity markets are responding to reports that world's biggest chipmaker TSMC's sales surge 45% amid buoyant AI demand. Dow Jones is broadly flat at $53,840, awaiting a fresh catalyst. Equity markets are responding to reports that strong RE earnings lift S&P 500, NASDAQ as inflation data calms rate hike jitters, Kitco. Starting with the Europe session. DAX slipped minus 0.35% to €26,300. The move follows reports that oil prices rise as OPEC cuts 2026 demand growth forecast amid US-Iran talks deadlock, 15 outlets compared, News Cord. FTSE 100 is trading lower by minus 0.56% at £10,773. Investor sentiment is being shaped by S&P 500 hits record high as oil, producer inflation weaken, the Detroit News. Starting with the Asia session. Nikkei 225 is trading higher by plus 0.83% at 67,524 yen. Currency markets are reacting to Indian rupee may open nearly flat as RBI counters dollar demand, mizedhar.net. Hang Seng dipped minus 1% to 25,397 Hong Kong dollars. Equity markets are responding to reports that strong RE earnings lift S&P 500, NASDAQ as inflation data calms rate hike jitters, Kitco. Kospi made a dramatic move today, surged plus 3.68% to 6,579.04 Korean wons. Equity markets are responding to reports that world's biggest chipmaker TSMC's sales surge 45% amid buoyant AI demand. Nifty 50 is trading lower by minus 0.31% at 24,396 Indian rupees. Equity markets are responding to reports that S&P 500 notches record high close as rate hike worries ease. Sensex is little changed, hovering near 78,080 Indian rupees. Equity markets are responding to reports that S&P 500 notches record high close as rate hike worries ease. ASX 200 is trading lower by minus 0.67% at $9,188.50. The move follows reports that S&P 500 hits record high as oil, producer inflation weaken, the Detroit News. Now, a look at some of India's most active stocks in the news today. Tata Motors dipped minus 1.32% to 343 Indian rupees. Equity markets are responding to reports that strong RE earnings lift S&P 500, NASDAQ as inflation data calms rate hike jitters, Kitco. Jaguar Land Rover order bank and production volumes are the earnings swing factor. Range Rover and Defender remain sold out in key markets, which is a strong near-term pricing signal. JLR balance sheet deleveraging is ahead of schedule. Watch for any semiconductor supply update that could unlock further production. SBI climbed plus 1.59% to 1,083 Indian rupees. Investor sentiment is being shaped by India's inflation accelerates to 4.45%, but unlikely to shift RBI rate outlook. The Yono digital banking platform is building a retail liability moat. Corporate loan book quality, the historical weak spot, is now at decade-best levels. The dividend policy has become more generous. Watch for any RBI guidance on priority sector lending norms that could affect cost ratios. Now let us look at what is driving these moves at the macro level. On the geopolitical front, the move follows reports that oil prices rise as OPEC cuts 2026 demand growth forecast amid US-Iran talks deadlock, 15 outlets compared, News Cord. This is adding a risk premium across energy markets and supporting safe haven demand. Central bank policy is at the forefront of investor minds. Investor sentiment is being shaped by S&P 500 hits record high as oil, producer inflation weaken, the Detroit News. On the data front, equity markets are responding to reports that strong RE earnings lift S&P 500, NASDAQ as inflation data calms rate hike jitters, Kitco. And looking at how some of the biggest global names are trading today. Samsung surged plus 4.89% to 268,000 Korean wons in a significant session. Equity markets are responding to reports that Samsung profit surges over eightfold to beat estimates as RE boom fuels memory chip crunch. The HBM supply competition with SK Hynix is the defining story. Samsung needs to close the yield gap to win hyperscaler HBM contracts. Consumer DRAM pricing is recovering as inventory normalizes. Watch for any Nvidia or Google qualification update on Samsung HBM. SAP dropped sharply minus 2.94% to €175.38. Equity markets are responding to reports that going into earnings, is SAP stock a buy, a sell, or fairly valued? Morningstar. The technical picture for SAP has deteriorated. The €164.86 level will be critical to monitor. It represents a key line in the sand for bulls. A break below could trigger further stop-loss selling. Manage your risk carefully. LVMH is down minus 2.89%, trading at €464.95. Investor sentiment is being shaped by China sales hold up as European luxury brands warn of Iran war impact, South China Morning Post. Like-for-like organic growth in fashion and leather goods is the key metric. The market is watching whether the pricing cycle has peaked and volume growth can compensate. Any comment from management on Chinese tourist spending in Europe would be market-moving. Let us give you our near-term view on the Kospi. With momentum this strong, traders will be watching the 6,973.78 Korean wons level closely. A clean break there would confirm the uptrend and could bring in additional momentum buyers. Risk management remains critical. Always size positions according to your own risk tolerance. To summarize, 6 indices in the green, 7 in the red today. A clear risk-off tone is prevailing across global equities. Here is your market watch list heading into the next session. Keep a close eye on central bank speakers and rate commentary, and key economic data releases. Any one of these could be the catalyst that defines the next major directional move. We cover every major global market, every single day. If this kind of daily, actionable analysis is useful to you, please support us with a like and subscribe. It takes 2 seconds and it means a great deal to this channel. Share this with anyone who invests or trades, they will thank you for it. That wraps up today's coverage from MTRS_Market Pulse. This content is for educational purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own research. Stay disciplined, and we will see you tomorrow. That is your global indices roundup from MTRS_Market Pulse. Subscribe for daily updates across every major market.